Hello, welcome to your guided reading for the week commencing the 30th of November, going through to Sunday the 6th of December. Hope this finds you well. It's a very strong day today. It's a full moon. It's the penultimate full moon of 2020. I've actually done this video already twice, and for various reasons it didn't work out. One time I didn't even push the button. So that's where I'm at with today. It's quite an intense day. If you're feeling a bit spinny, cranky, spacey, really understandable. It's a very strong moon. It is bringing in a lot of good energy, but at the same time it's been a bit clearer. So if the last few days have been difficult for you, overly emotional, or you felt quite low, that's very, very normal for this moon. It's the moon of processing grief. Normally, well, very traditionally, it was the moon where our ancestors would start to feel that grief for the warmth and the abundance of summer and autumn going into the winter. These days, a lot of us are very blessed to have much more abundant lives. So we have warmer houses through the winter, we have access to food. So whilst we don't have that same sense of trepidation about the winter, although it can be an intense time anyway, it's just a good opportunity to look at what you've lost this year. It's not always an easy thing to sit with, but this year particularly, I think it needs some time for us to really process what we've lost, what we've grieved. A lot of us lost our freedom on and off throughout the year. Many people lost loved ones, not just to the virus, but people died obviously of different reasons. So if you've lost somebody, my heart goes out to you. Take some time around this full moon to really process that grief. What is also telling us is an opportunity to clear the space, because this full moon is bringing in a lot of potent, strong energy, healing energy. I will talk about it in another video, but we've got on the solstice this year a really great opportunity to raise our vibrations. So this is a kind of clearing process, helping us to clear the space, kind of like you would a field, take out all the weeds so that we can put the new crops down and start to sow seeds for the way we want to live our lives once we are moving through this time of transition, death and rebirth. So yes, the full moon today, I think it peaked at 9:30, so it's a strong one. A lovely ritual you can do is write down some of the things you felt you lost this year, some of the things that you are grieving, and you can burn that list, and it's a very healing thing to process the energy in your system. So obviously I've drawn the cards already because I had my issues with my technology, so I don't need to shuffle them, but the pack I've used today is this one here. It's the Ascended Masters pack by Doreen Virtue. It's 44 cards, and each one is a different Ascended Master, a different spiritual master from throughout history, throughout time, throughout the world. Some of them are attached to religions, other of them are more abstract than that, just spiritual teachers. I love this pack. I think it's very powerful and it's very beautiful. The cards are really gorgeous, they're very colourful, so it's a beautiful pack to use. The card I drew out when I did my initial shuffle for the first start of the week is this card here, Stay Focused. This beautiful beardy guy. Kamunthi, I think his name is. Apologies if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Anyone knows that guy already? Or probably don't know him because I think he died many, many hundreds of years ago. But if you're aware of this master, and you can probably shake your head at my pronunciation, apologies. I don't think this card is asking us to stay focused with incredible mental clarity right now. So don't worry, it's not about being on it, as it were. I think it's more a message of staying focused on the moment, staying present, not allowing yourself to project too far ahead. If you are celebrating Christmas this year, there might be a sense of, oh, we've got to do some preparation for that. Particularly in the UK, we now know what we can and cannot do. So people are starting to get their heads around Christmas. Try not to overwhelm yourself. This has been a very long, tough year, and everyone is probably feeling a bit sort of done in, for want of another term. So try and stay focused on the moment. Try and stay focused on your breath. Take some nice deep breaths into your body. Be aware of how you feel. But also there is another message to this. If you are working on a project or you have some plans at the moment, stay focused with those. Everything is timing. And as we come towards the end of the year, it might not be that something you've been working on kicks off with great flourish. We have a new year ahead of us and new energy. So it's not saying don't focus on those things. It's just saying, remember there is timing, and just each day you do your little bit that you need to do, and when the time is ready, things can be birthed, things can move forward. Moving into the centre of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, going into the start of Friday, we have this card, this little lovely chap here. Now, I'm a yoga teacher, so I should know how to say this guy's name because he's one of the most famous yoga teachers of all time. I'm going to try. It's Paramahansa. I'm not going to try, actually, because I can't do it today. But he's a wonderful, wonderful spiritual teacher. He wrote a book called The Autobiography of a Yogi, which is a fascinating read for anyone interested in yoga, spirituality, or just something different, because he was an extraordinary guy, had many wonderful mystical experiences. Choose peace. It's not always easy to choose peace, is it? But I think this is a powerful message at the moment, particularly as we come to the end of this year. We've had this big full moon. Around the middle of the week, things might feel quite heightened, quite intense. Relationships might be a bit tetchy or a bit frayed, and that's all very understandable. But within those moments, we do have the opportunity to choose peace, whether that's taking time to step back from a situation, whether it's taking time to just go within, listen to your sort of inner world, take a hand to your heart or your chest and just feel that heart space. Yeah, just take a moment through this quite intense week. It's not all bad by any stretch of imagination, but it's a strong one, as was last week, I know. And choosing peace is also one of the most powerful things we can do to change this world. It can sometimes feel quite frustrating that we see all the changes in the world and there's nothing we can do. You can be a peaceful person where possible, and that vibration floats out to the people around you. And the more people that choose a more peaceful way of being, of moving through the world, the more we will see a more positive world in the future. So you're powerful in your peacefulness. Peace is also in love, and love is the most powerful force of all. So choosing peace can be a very transformative thing. And then I drew a card for the end of the week, and I was a bit confused to begin with, and then I remembered that the main message of this card is a teacher card, and I'm not going to try and say this guy's name. It's the most complex one of them all. I believe he was Russian. He was a Russian spiritual teacher, and his main message is learning from the experiences we have, and often the most difficult experiences are our greatest teachers. So it could be, again, a time just to think about what you've learned this year, and the changes that you've made, or the changes that have occurred within you as you've moved through quite a difficult year. There's another element to this card in that it can be a good time for study, for learning new things. If you are interested in meditation and you haven't really meditated before, there's so many apps now. YouTube has got some great meditations. But the most straightforward meditation of all is just sitting and noticing your breathing, maybe counting it in and out. So it could be a nice time to bring some meditation into your weekly experience. There's also a really wonderful guy I've just been introduced to called Brad Yates. He's on YouTube. He has short sort of 5-minute videos on tapping, something called EFT, which is a way of releasing old patterns, old energy, emotions from your body by tapping parts of your face, your hands, and the side of your body. It's really easy to do, really powerful, really transformative. So I would suggest, if you are interested in that, look him up. Brad Yates, Yates spelled Y-A-T-E-S, and it can be a really powerful tool for heightened times, EFT. So there we are. Oh, actually, sorry, there was the last bit of this card. The other message is feed your senses. It's such an opulent card. I don't know if you can see, but he's pretty blingy. He's got a lot of jewels on. He's got a wonderful kind of jewel in the centre of his head. Beautiful purple robes. So whilst a lot of the time we've been possibly in a bit of our reptilian brains this year, that kind of fight or flight mode, which is very understandable, this weekend is a nice opportunity to feed the senses. So we could maybe focus on smell and burn some nice candles, maybe do some baking that fills the house with nice senses and nice smells, unless it's me who's not got a very good track record of baking. But things that make us feel good, bubble baths, essential oils, listening to beautiful music, noticing texture around us, just taking time to feel different sensations, feeling the wood of a table, for example, or the touch of a cool stone. what it does is it just helps the body to reset a bit and gets us out of this kind of thinking brain and much more into our body. So that was the final message of that card. I wish you well. I send much love. Thank you for listening to this video. I hope you find it helpful throughout your week. And I have a website at www.transformwithlight.com. That's got some more information about my work. It's also got my blog on there. So if that's interesting to you, please do check it out. I'm going to start doing these videos at the weekend before, because obviously some people in other parts of the world start their week before the UK. So I will be putting them out a bit earlier. But I wish you a safe and nourishing week, and thank you for listening.